It's important when looking at farming because and this inheritance tax issue, and I'll come to a fascinating article in the Financial Times in a minute. But farming has been integral in shaping Britain's landscape, both physically and culturally. The countryside's rolling fields, the hedgerows, the patchwork of meadows, the stone walls are deeply tied to the centuries of agricultural practice in the UK. And this legacy reflects the dry stone walls. Oh my goodness! In the Cotswolds, in Yorkshire, this historical evolution from subsistence agriculture to modern industrial scale farming, each era leaving its unique imprint on the land. From the topology of the boundaries of farms, from the enclosure acts of the 18th and 19th centuries, which transformed the communal open fields into privately owned plots. This remodeling defines modern rural Britain, creates this distinctive ordered appearance that persists today as you drive through the countryside and you see sheep and cows and, unfortunately, rather a lot of fields of rape. But the diversity of our landscape, the different farming practices that have sculpted the regional variations in the arable heartlands of East Anglia and Spalding in Lincolnshire, to the vast open fields dedicated to cereal production, where the pastoral traditions of the West Country result in smaller, enclosed fields ideal for grazing livestock, where somewhere there's a little bullock called Professor Tim. This variability contributes to the diverse visual and ecological character across the UK, from the moorlands of Yorkshire to the pastures of Somerset. Traditional farming practices such as rotational grazing, crop rotation, once supported a rich array of wildlife, fostering habitats that remain crucial to Britain's biodiversity. Hedgerows, for example, literally encircling the farmers' fields, act as an ecological corridor for birds, small mammals, insects, while fallow fields provide wildflowers and pollinators. And modern shifts towards intensive farming have altered this balance, prompting conservation efforts to integrate sustainable methods back into agriculture. But the way farming has molded our landscape is significant. Farming has historically defined not just the physical landscape, but also rural life and economy. Villages and market towns grew up around agricultural hubs, with local traditions, festivals, markets tied into the farming calendar. And while modernization has seen many rural communities engulfed by the larger farms changing, the cultural roots remain tied to these agricultural origins. And the mechanization of agriculture, the innovations in farming, such as those championed by figures like Sir James Dyson, who we'll come to, have redefined large tracts of farmland, grassland, automated machinery. Technological advancements have transformed previously labour-intensive areas into modern agricultural centres, subtly shifting the look and the function of the land. And the push towards large scale may not be desirable. These industrial farms that have reshaped the landscape, sometimes at the cost of environmental degradation, soil erosion, the loss of natural habitats. This has sparked debates and initiatives aimed to balance agricultural productivity with ecological stewardship, influencing how land is managed and preserved for future generations. But the tractor tax is a bigger impact than the move towards these monolithic farms. This is a death blow to the family farms that have defined us. Britain's landscape is this palimpsest of agricultural history, with each layer telling a different story of adaptation, of growth, of conflict. And we're going to tear this up in a fit of pique because we want to grab money. And the debate about inheritance tax reform and its impact on high-profile figures like Sir James Dyson, who commands one of the UK's most substantial private agricultural estates, encapsulates the clash between government policy, economic realities and public perception. And Dyson, celebrated for pioneering technology, yet scrutinised for strategic tax decisions like leaving the UK and championing Brexit madness, is now at the forefront of this debate about farming, with his sprawling 36,000-acre farming empire valued at an estimated £612 million. And Rachel Reeves' recent budget proposals to revise the Agricultural and Business Property Relief, the APR and the BPR, the inheritance tax, heralds significant changes to inheritance tax, potentially levying 20% on estate values exceeding £1 million from April 2026. The implications for Dyson's estate, estimated to face a staggering £122 million in inheritance tax, spotlight the delicate balance between protecting generational businesses and addressing perceived tax loopholes. Dyson's investment narrative is compelling, championing British agriculture. With over £140 million in development, his farms span key regions known for productivity, such as Lincolnshire and Somerset. And the Carrington glasshouse alone exemplifies his fusion of technology and sustainability, with robot-assisted strawberry harvesting demonstrating modern agribusiness potential. Yet Dyson's criticisms of the reforms as detrimental to entrepreneurship resonate with broader discontent among landowners, fearing forced sales and disrupted food production. His defence, that his investments stem from a commitment to innovation rather than tax circumvention, has met with mixed reception, reigniting conversations about fairness in wealth succession. While the billionaire underscores his tax contributions exceeding £500 million over 5 years, the structural intricacies of ownership through Dyson Farming Limited and its Singapore-incorporated parent company, Weibun Holdings, bring questions of domicile and international tax strategy into sharper focus. This policy shift triggers a scramble among high net worth individuals for strategic estate planning, with advisors suggesting accelerated asset transfers to heirs or restructured holdings to mitigate potential tax burdens. And the new residence-based test, replacing domicile from 2025, further complicates the landscape and Dyson's opportunities, offering a pathway for expatriation to sidestep UK inheritance tax, a loophole not lost on astute financial planners. Critics like Arun Advani highlight that while APR and BPR may close gaps, more pressing inheritance tax avoidance tactics remain unaddressed, such as interspousal transfers and lifetime gifts. And this broader critique reinforces that the government's revisions, though significant for figures like Dyson, are but one layer in the complex mosaic of UK asset taxation, and the discourse that follows will continue to test the balance between equitable tax policy and economic sustainability for key industries such as farming. It's a poor outlook, really, isn't it? While fishing was pretty well destroyed by Brexit and farming is destroyed by Labour, what is left of our country?